What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. I am your co-host, Savvy Wavy 1. How you doing, Kelty?
I'm doing fabulous. Basketballgirl_12 at hotmail.com coming at you.
Wait, was that your Twitter?
No.
Was that your Twitter name? Or your AOL?
No, that was like
MSN?
my first.
Which one?
Yeah.
Pick your
MSN.
poison.
I had CoolDog7 and then basketballgirl_12. I mean,
wow.
Doesn't get any more
The basketball girl. That's so cute. I had my Twitter as Savvy Wavy 1 because like people call me Savvy Wavy.
Yeah.
And to this day, like we still reference it. Like my friends and I from high school, like they still call me Savvy Wavy 1. Like my friend Megan asked me to be a bridesmaid. Yeah. And literally within the note, it said Savvy Wavy 1.
That's how you know it's true. When someone knows you're like...
I think they secretly made fun of it.
Probably.
And I'm like, I don't care. Let's go for it.
But that's like your friends. If your friends can't make fun of you, they're not true friends. My friend, you know what I mean? True friendship is saying the meanest thing to your face and the nicest thing behind your back. That's a true friend, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Like,
you have to troll each other, right?
Yeah.
Like in all good fun.
Yeah. I was like, those are my kind of people. But just not behind. Just not. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, just the good people are the ones who just say the nicest things behind your back when you're not there, not the evil. You know what I mean? But just the ruthless ones. Yeah. That's the trick. But anyways, I interrupted. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, I was going to move on. I was going to say, how was your weekend?
It was amazing. I went back to Edmonton, my hometown, for 23 hours, and I booked a last-minute flight. It was my best friend's birthday, and I had missed her actual birthday party in Vancouver because I was at your wedding, and she was having another birthday party in Edmonton, and I didn't let her know, and we surprised her, and then I thought, you know what? Well, I'm here. Shall I surprise my mother? And so my brother was in on it. He told her he was coming over to go on a walk with my mom, and then boom, it was me. And so I'm editing a reel, so that's a short for it, and it is the most cutest thing I've ever witnessed on camera. Like my mom's shocked face, like she looked like she saw a ghost. It is adorable. So that was a nice little wholesome.
How did you get that on camera? I was recording.
I was holding it, and then when I surprised Lexi, our friend Amy was holding it. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. You got to love the friends that like know what you do and support it, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
That they're like, I'll get the content for you. And you're like, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Or even just, but this is one of those ones, as much as like it worked out so well, I have to make a video out of it. It was also, I was like, I just want this, like, I have it even saved in a little album now of very favorite life memories. Like I've rewatched it like 6 times and it makes me cry every time I watch it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's cute. Warms my little heart.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Did some housework. You're looking at a proud owner of a dishwasher and a garbage disposal. I know. I'm living large.
Big things.
Didn't realize how much I relied on a dishwasher and a garbage disposal until I did not have one. And I just feel like I do not wash dishes well enough, especially when you're cooking with like oil, it like sticks, or like when you want a nice wine glass stain free. I just wasn't doing it. So I splurged. We finally got a dishwasher. Now that we own the house, we can do whatever we want. And it's amazing. I use it every night. I stare at it all the time. It's beautiful.
I can relate. I've just recently had a dishwasher in the last like 3 years of my life. Up till then, the first decade, I had the cheapest apartment I possibly could get in every city, so I meant no dishwasher. And when you finally have a dishwasher, you're like, this is peak luxury. This is phenomenal. I just put
luxury.
It's like a different level of spot. Like you said, your wine glasses just sparkle. You're like, what? It's just, I'm living. I've got my shit together.
And just saves you so much time. Like, you know, after cooking all night, it's my favorite thing in the world. And I didn't know that until I didn't have a dishwasher for a couple years. So
okay, I have a dishwasher thing, and I'm curious about you. I've just noticed this in Sweden. I've only had this once. Meg's just got a new apartment in Sweden. We're in it. I've never had a dishwasher do this, and it's so simple, and it's genius. You know a dishwasher, you open it, you look down, and you press the buttons, and you're looking down, and it's like in the dishwasher. So so when you close it, there's no time. Well, the timer is on the outside. So you can look and know,
Where?
like just kind of at the top, outside of on the wall, which makes so much sense because how many times have you're looking to see if the dishwasher's done or not, and it's like 10 minutes, and then some of them turn off, but it just has a dial on the outside, just like your washing machine. Be like, it's 5 minutes left. I was like, why don't they all have that? Is that not?
I don't think mine does. My washer and dryer does. They don't even have that.
Well,
unless I'm blind and I don't know.
All I know is just there should be a timer on the outside, so you don't have to open the washing machine and be like sprayed with water. Like, is that not just so obvious? I leave it to Sweden, but I'm like, this is mind-blowing technology. So there's a life hack if you're buying a dishwasher. Get one with the time on the outside so you don't open it and have soapy suds in your face.
True. Well, I hope everybody's still with us because that was not a riveting conversation between you
or it was.
Or it was.
Sometimes, you know what? I want to know the dish soap people buy. Sometimes I want to know that. You know what?
Absolutely. Cascade all the way, right?
Yeah.
What?
But we're going to pivot out of that domestic goddess era we just went through into our fitness girl era real fast.
That was a shiny way to dress that up. Domestic goddess.
You know what? You're a wife now. You know what you talk about? Dishwashers.
Wait, you want to know a funny story? So we had some of our guy friends over for the Jake, Paul, Tommy Fury fight. And I was like, they were about to start. I'm not really into the fights, but like I wanted to hang out with the guys. So I am going into the kitchen and I made this amazing banana bread. I like quadrupled the chocolate chip.
Good, Paul.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. All these bananas were rotting and I was like, I'm gonna make bread. And I asked the boys, I was like, do you guys like banana bread? And literally the excitement that they got from this, it was as if I said, do you want to take a shot? Like for watching none of us were drinking. We're just watching this fight. Yep. They were like, let's go. Like they're literally, I hear them clapping. They're like, banana bread. And they raved. They were like, oh my gosh, Sav, it was so good. And it was so funny because after our friend Tom was like, is this what it's like to have a wife? Like, do they bake banana bread for you? And I was like, honestly, I wanted the banana bread. Yeah. Michael didn't even know I made this banana bread, but sure. And it just cracked me up. And it reminded me because they were like, you're a wife now, you bake. And I was like, I'm a wife, but I like baked goods and I don't trust Michael baking. So leave it to me.
There you go. Well, I appreciate that. That's like your first, like, few weeks of being a wife, you're making things and you're getting a standing ovation. That is married life. Like, well done. You've entered, right? Applaud. You've done it.
I think I graduated from the, hey babe, I made dinner. There's a bag of salad in the fridge and a bag of steak.
Domestic goddess era. You are in it. Domestic and thriving.
Thriving. Let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah. In like 3 weeks, she'll be like, I never want to see laundry again.
Oh, no. I literally, Michael and I have this thing. I do my own laundry. I have done this since I was young because my parents are divorced and I was 10. So I learned how to like do my own laundry at my dad's. And so I've always done it and Michael's mom always did his. And so I had to like show him how to do laundry. And we have this agreement because he's like, well, when you do your laundry, can you just do mine? And I'm like, no. So I have this agreement. He has to buy me Starbucks anytime I want. Anytime. It's just whenever I want Starbucks, it's on him. Yeah. And then I'll do his laundry for him. And it's honestly a fair trade-off because I want free Starbucks. I'm too cheap to buy it. And he is too lazy to do his own laundry. And I'm doing mine at the same time. Fantastic.
Honestly, that is the modern day relationship. It's not traditional roles. It's just pick your own roles. And sometimes we fall into the traditional and sometimes you get free Starbucks. And I love that. I'm all here for it. Right? Split in duties, however that works.
Yeah.
I love
it. There we go. All right. Yeah. So sorry, long-winded story, but go ahead.
Transitioned into our fitness girl era. So we're back with another hot, heavy headlines of the week. Breaking news. But I thought it'd be fun to also talk about some ads I've been getting and wondering if everyone else is getting this. So we got some top headlines in the fitness wellness community, trends, and what has been blowing out my Pinterest and Instagram. And I'm wondering if you've seen this. So first, I can't go on Pinterest without getting this ad for wall Pilates. You haven't seen it. You were mentioning? Okay.
I have not seen it, and I'm an avid Pinterester, so I don't know.
I'm going to send you it. maybe it's just me, and I've seen it a few times on other social medias. It is the most absurd app or like ad. The only way I can describe it is it's this girl in her before form. And then she like goes up to the wall, like her feet on the wall, and starts thrusting. And then like by the second thrust, and you're like, what is this? She's like in her after, like it's a clear before and after kind of vibe. And I'm just like, and it's just like wall Pilates changed me. And it's just the most absurd act because it's just these girls like thrusting the wall. And
so what are they trying to sell?
The wall? It must be some, I haven't clicked it because I'm like, I don't need this, but it must be some 10-minute Pilates workout program kind of thing. But it's, I just thought I'd step in here and remind everyone that actually wall Pilates is kind of good. I looked into it, and I do a lot of yoga, and you use the wall in yoga, and it's a great tool, like a yoga block that sometimes like if you can't get the full range of motion or you can't balance yourself, you learn against the wall. And like Pilates, it's actually kind of beneficial if you want to like increase range of motion or something, like use the wall in a group. It's definitely like a thing, but they're making it seem like just doing it against this wall is this like magic cure. So I just thought I'd step in and just be like, when you see stuff like that, just be like, oh, that's like someone flashing you a yoga block and being like, oh my God. Like it's just a modification in Pilates. Like it's not like a revolutionary form of Pilates that's going to transform your body. It's just a wall.
Well, here's like a hot take that it's kind of relevant to it, but this randomly came to my mind today. Literally, I was having a discussion with a friend about it. And if you look at, YouTubers that are famous for having free workouts up, which I am like all here for it. I think it's great, accessible for people to work out at all times. But where it gets so dodgy is when they say like the 10-minute abs or the 10-minute circuits, which, we could definitely do 10-minute abs. Don't get me wrong. But like if they don't, have a disclaimer of like, this isn't actually how I got my body. There's a lot more that goes into it. Yeah. So it kind of full circles into that Pinterest ad because a lot of people are looking at this like get fit quick scheme or like a 10-minute, like, oh, all I have to do is go on a wall and thrust for 5 times and I'm going to have that dream body where like, sadly, I wish that was true, but it's not. And like, it's this catch-22 because like these people go viral and they do so well with these like fast, quick workouts, but then it's not realistic for like the general viewer if they don't understand like this actually requires more than just hip thrusting a couple times a day or doing a 10-minute ab workout, right? Yeah,
it's such a complicated one because it's also like, and this is why I feel like fitness TikTok and YouTube can be so toxic because people like take things like that and take it so out of context. Like I won't even name any names. Just think of the biggest women YouTubers specifically who do like the 10 to 30 minute at-home workout programs. A lot of them get like hate because of exactly that. And I think some of them though, when you look at them as a whole, they'll upload like 20 workouts a week. So it's with the idea that like, no, you don't just do this 10-minute, you do this 10, you do this 20, and it's like they give you this full thing to follow. And then there's also the people who just like see that one viral one. They don't see this community, this people are building, the updating. They're like, oh, I'm just going to do a 10-minute ab thing. And they just like, you know, I hate to say it, they just like Googled a bunch of ab workouts and maybe they just do it. But like you said, they sit there, they just do this 10-minute. They're not personal trainer. They have no certifications and they just pump this and those people could actually not be that harmless, but then people just go and see that 10 minutes. They think it's just the 10 minutes. They don't see the workouts outside of it and all that. They get to the body. Yeah. So exactly like you said. And it's like...
That's the catch-22 almost. It's like, I don't know, am I saying that correctly? Catch-22. I remember reading this back in AP like language. But, because I think of like, I have some friends that's what they do. Yeah. Or, I've even done 10-minute ab workouts on my YouTube channel. Yeah. But like, so that's the thing. It doesn't make them like bad or like, it's not like they're spreading false information. It's just people maybe they're not, I think you should always disclose it and say like, hey, this isn't actually how I built my body realistically, unless maybe it is, I don't know. But, maybe just giving them a little bit more guidance, I think would be helpful. So they don't think like, that's why so many people fail in this, when they want to get fit is because they think realistically, oh, I just need to do these 10-minute workouts. I'm going to get her body, but there's so much more. Lifestyle, maybe she's lifting, maybe she's doing extra cardio, maybe she's eating a different way, maybe her genetics are playing a different part. So it's like, there's just so many you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in those, because I love those girlies that do it, and I have some good friends that's their thing is workouts, and they're helping women, and that's amazing. That's all that matters. And then you do get those people that just troll and are like, oh, this person's horrible because they're claiming they got their body, but I'm like, did they though? I don't know.
I know.
It's always just, it's confusing. Catch-22.
It's so confusing. I do think we're going to go into the next era, because that was definitely so, especially lockdowns beginning. It's like 10-minute ab workout, follow this. And that was because I think what's happened, and the consumer is getting smarter, is, I hate to say it, if you put 10-minute ab workout, it's short, it seems easy, and the girl has a rockin' body, that's way more likely to be pressed than progressive overload over 20 weeks with adequate nutrition, workout by personal trainer with MB. Like, that title is not going to be flashy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the average consumer is going to click that like hot trendy one. And then I think the girls who are doing the best, and I hope we could all do like a full thing, is like, they realize that they do the 10-minute thing. They rope you in. They give you enough information. They give the disclaimers. They're like, you need to be doing a bit more than this. Okay, I'm roping you in. But like, also, here's this resource and here's this. And like, slowly like rope in the consumer and put them down the right way. And obviously that can be hijacked the wrong way, and then just sell bogus supplements and continuous programs that mean nothing and not personalized. But I just hope there's a lot more. And I see some of them, people, like you said, realize that, and then actually care about the consumer and be like, I know you're not educated enough to know what you need. I've roped you in, and here's how to actually educate you. And I think that's what's going to happen with the fitness community over the next couple of years, or at least I hope.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm like, I just feel like not a lot of people bring up that point. So
that's a good one.
I was interested also to, you're a YouTuber that yet may not be your spiel, but you know, like I do love those follow along workouts myself, or, you know, like I think of some really successful people in the industry, and I've always wondered, like, how do they deal with that? Yeah. That like polarizing view all the time. But yeah, regardless, let's move into the next segment.
Exactly.
That's maybe a dive into it another time.
Honestly, if you want us, we'll continue on the conversation. Like, send us a DM or anything. Cause like, I think that's the thumbnail clickbait thing is such a elaborate thing on the YouTube, TikTok world that we could talk about. Honestly,
it would be interesting to get a guest that's what they do. Like, that's, you know, they like recording workouts, and do like follow along workouts and just hear their take. So maybe that's something down the road if that's what people want.
I would love. Message us who you want to see. There's a couple girls that instantly popped into my head I'd love to, I'm friends with, and same with you, and we'd love to have them on. So that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually is a kind of perfect transition of like before and after thumbnails. I had a eureka moment, and I have to share it. I'm going to share it on my YouTube video and do a crazy before and after transformation. But the podcasters are the number one, so they got to learn it first. Okay, have you seen the face yoga, face massage, gua sha, I believe you pronounce it, like before and after transformations on Instagram and all that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing a challenge as a sneak peek. I've been doing it for 30 days just to like see, maybe it does actually work, or whether it just helped my wrinkles and all that. But there's this one specifically, this girl, and it's like, my biggest flex is like losing weight in my face without, or like getting a snatched jaw without losing weight. Like, it's kind of the idea, like she goes from, I hate to say it, like double chin, like, you know, rounder looking face to suddenly like Bella Hadid's snatched jawline. And it's like instantly, and you can tell it's the same girl, and it's not edited. It's like, I couldn't even, this was like, I know all the tricks. I've been around the thumbnail game a long time. I know them all. This one baffled me, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, hey, I'm going to test this. Who knows? And then I was in the airplane coming back from Cabo, actually, and I figured it out. So I want to show, because there's a lot of girls who are suddenly having this snatched jaw. And, you know, a lot of people are getting blamed for like buccal fat removal. That's definitely a thing, and it's definitely happening. But you can instantly change it in 10 seconds. And I'm going to teach you how. And my mind is blown. Because I was in the airport. I was looking at myself. But I was just getting out to leave the bathroom. And I get a side glimpse of my like side profile. And I won't lie. I have like a decent, that's one of my prouder features in my face, is I got a decent jawline. And
I won't lie.
I like it. I like it. If I'm not perfect, but like I got tiny eyes and a bump on my nose, but I don't mind my jawline. And I looked at myself from the side, and I had severe tech neck in that moment. And I was like,
tech neck?
You know, like when, like we all have it when you're like texting, like text neck.
Yeah.
Sorry, not tech, text neck. When you're like lean forward, And
Yes.
for my YouTubers, I showed the YouTubers, would do like, just type in texting neck. And so you lean forward. And I looked at myself from the side. I was like, oh, that jawline you like? It's not there. It's gone. I was just like, oh, how much did I eat in Cabo? I was like, my jawline's gone. And then I'm looking, I was like, wait, sit up straight. And I instantly noticed, I was like, oh, okay, it's back. And then also, ironically, the day before I'd read this Vogue article, do you remember when there was all those, Mary-Kate and Ashley also, all those photos of them looking emancipated with the sunken in cheekbones?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's a lot, I'm not going to touch if because I'm not educated enough, if they actually had weight issues. I know there was a lot of speculation, but regardless, they were known for that sunken look. And then I was reading this Vogue article, how they did it themselves. So they'd suck in their cheeks. And you were even saying the one thing you do is with your tongue, right?
Mm-hmm. Press the tongue to the roof of your mouth, because I have like a natural little like double chin, and it actually helps.
Yeah. And so I realized that. I was like, wait, because I'd heard that tongue thing. I naturally, that's probably why I have a jawline, my tongue naturally sits on the roof of my mouth. It's just how I am. So I was like, wait, do all three of these things at the same time. So I was looking at myself, looked like I had no jawline, sat up forward, put my tongue to the top of my roof, sucked in and sucked my cheeks in. It looked like I lost 30 pounds and got buccal fat removal in that, just doing those three things. And so I'm like, oh, that's all these ads, all these face massages. Like, how are these girls doing it? It must be all these massages. I'm like, no. They just in the before have really bad posture, let it all hang out, and then they suck everything up. And I know we know that it might be obvious to a lot of people, but I know that about obviously sucking your stomach in and posing different, but no one really realizes how much you can manipulate your face just by doing a couple things.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I love that. And yeah, you can totally manipulate your body as well. Like my friend Kayla taught me years ago, like back in college, that if you have, like, I have thick thighs. So if I was to stand normal, like I'm going to look like a pear, right? Like there's nothing wrong. I just don't have that like famous thigh gap everyone has. Yeah. So you literally stand up straight, you stick your butt out. That's all you do. So from the back, you look weird. Front. Yeah. It's just crazy how there's all these different things, and it's sad because you learn it as a female that like, you know, how to pose. So yeah, they just added your face now, I guess. Yeah.
There's so many poses. Like even like that's a great example of like the infamous thigh gap. Technically, I have one, but it's not because my thighs are that tiny. I just have severe APT, so I naturally stand with my arched back and all that. If I were to actually put myself in a proper posture, then the thigh gap's gone. So it's like, oh, that's debilitating. Yeah, okay, sometimes when I stand, I got a thigh gap. I have debilitating back problems. I was like, you know what? I was like, when you see that girl with the thigh gap in the photo, just being like, she's crying, she's in pain, she needs to see a chiropractor.
She's in so much pain.
So just that's know hilarious. That. So
that's a good perspective.
Yeah. So now that we're seeing all these girls, suddenly when you see someone on TikTok who just has this snatched face, it could be buccal fat removal. It could be nature. It could be she's just sucking in like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know whose face I do not understand. Like, she is stunning, and I'm like, is this your real face? Is her name Maddie Klein or Maddie? She's Outer Banks. She's Sarah in Outer Banks. Michael and I binged Outer Banks. But like, if anyone doesn't know who she is, look her up. Her lips are like immaculate, and like she does that like model face pose. I was creeping on her Instagram today, and I was like, she's stunning. But I'm like, are those your real lips? I'm so curious. And it probably a simple Google search, but they almost look like they're just her lips. Like, she just looks unique. But moral of the story is she definitely knows her face poses, because she's always stunning. But like all of her photos on Instagram, I was like, dang girl, go off, queen.
Well, I just did because I didn't realize who she is. I've watched Outer Banks, but it was like 2 years ago, so I didn't remember. From my like,
that's a shame.
I know, I should get back into it. But just like looking, she's got unbelievably lips, but it could very much be like her lips aren't crazy, and like she obviously overlines them like everyone with beautiful lips does, and then it's even more shown off. So like, Yeah, that's a good example of like, some people are just blessed with things, and she could have got it done, but regardless, she looks hot, and I love it. I love it for her.
I know.
She's rocking it. I think that's, you just got to find, and also all these things, if you want to pose in any of those ways, and honestly, use those tips. Use those tips I just told you. You know what I mean? Get lip injections if you want. Suck in your face for a selfie. Do it. Just also realize, it's just, that's all. Just realize other people are doing it. Don't feel bad when you see someone with a snatched jaw. Be like, oh, they're probably posing as well.
Absolutely. Or even like, I think of people our age, we like naturally have wrinkles, right? Like, we're not extremely old, but like naturally your face, you move your face, you're going to have wrinkles, you're going to have sunspots. And even like lately I've been finding myself like wanting, my Botox already wore off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting older. And I'm like, that is actually what I am. Like I am getting older. Keep in mind when you see those stunning models with like the pure faces and everything, it's like a lot of the times it is, well, one, it's either genetic because there are some people that don't express as much as others. Like I have crow's feet like no other because I smile and my eyes smile, where some people don't. But just know that that's probably not normal, and it's normal. It's not natural. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Actually, that's
I'll be the first to
reminder. Yep. And that's a good reminder with the Botox and the getting old, because I had that same moment. I have this wrinkle around, like I have like dimples, and I've always had dimples, and I have this wrinkle around my lips, and I'm like, oh my God, this is coming. I don't know if Botox can even get rid of this. And I've been like panicking the last few months about it, even doing like face massages for it. And I looked at a photo for me when I was like 22, 21 recently. I had them then. I was like, I'm just so used to, you know what I mean? Like, because now you get Botox and you got used to that you suddenly see any wrinkle and you're like, I'm aging like crazy. And then I just had this, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's just how your face looks, Kelty. So you got to be careful of those things whenever you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, can we talk about how it's in society in general, which this could be a podcast for another time, it's like men are allowed to like age gracefully where women are not. And so it drives me nuts. Like, even think of like George Clooney, whatever. Like, they have like these beautiful, like John Stamos, like rugged wrinkle lines, right? That are handsome. And then girls, God forbid, you express your face and have a wrinkle line. Like, you watch it even on shows that you're like, oh, she got older or whatever. You're just like, why? Why is that? Which I think that's a podcast for another time. But it angers me to the core.
I would love to talk about that because it's been a topic I've been thinking of so much lately. It was funny. I even thought about it yesterday. I ended up on Roger Federer's Instagram because Megs loves him. And anyways, long story. And I was looking, and there's this photo of him like in a suit, and he's looking clearly older. And I was like, oh, he looks so handsome. He's aged so well. But he said we can't think about that as women. But I really hope, and I think this has been since beginning of time. Have you ever seen, there's quite a few women I see like this in Scandinavia specifically, and they're clearly older, they've gone a little gray, they've got some wrinkles, and they've got this swagger. They're like still dressing, like they got like the chunky Prada platforms, they've got a cool trench, and you and me got like sunglasses, and I was like, you are badass. And I've never obviously it's beautiful women, but there's something about it, and I hope society can look at that as like just as much as like a man aging, and I hope that kind of changes, because I've been trying to notice that lately. And there's some in like downtown Vancouver, and I'm going shopping, and a girl, like older lady, still rocking New Balances and that, like the cool New Balances, not the dad New Balances, and I'm just like, get it, girl, get it. So I hope that's a whole podcast.
Yeah, my grandma, she was someone that like her hair started turning white when she was in her 20s. So she went completely white. And it was also a trend back then. So she kind of leaned into it. And she, like, even when she passed and at her memorial, so many people would come up and just say, like, your grandma was so beautiful. She was so poised. Like, my grandma was someone that always she didn't wear a lot of makeup. Like, she would wear maybe a little bit of mascara, maybe some, like, lipstick. But she just, like, had that look where she, like, embraced the age and, like, wore things, like you said, flattering shawls and, like, beautiful colors that popped on her. That was, like, one of the, like, from a outsider's perspective, like these people that knew my grandma through church or sewing or YMCA, they were always like, she was so put together and poised and just like stunning, that I'm like, I love that. That like, because I would always tell my grandma, I'm like, every time I'd see her, I'd be like, you are beautiful. Like I was just like in awe. I was like, you aged so well. I hope I aged that well. But I love that
you
like,
are
she really
aging
leaned into it. Oh, thank you. I would embrace the white hair if it came for me, but I do have her wiry hair, so I'm like, maybe I'll get it.
Maybe. There's hopeful thinking. See, that's where you like start to get excited. You know what I mean? And then you realize like we're so lucky to age. You know what I mean? When you start thinking of it like that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's even like the thought like anti-aging products, that label's getting a little taboo. And I don't think we have to go like that crazy, but I just hope there's some movement of celebrating it and not like as a whole. Because I hate to say it, like even if you could celebrate it on your own, there's still that stigma in media and whatnot of as soon as you're 30, you're out the door.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Should we jump into our... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is the perfect transition. You have a question about plastic surgery, and I thought this would be nice little transition. Okay,
let me pull her on up. So... Guys, if you ever want us to answer questions, if you want advice, we're not professionals, but we'll try and give it to you on the podcast. Submit through our Instagram or leave a review. Truly do whatever you want. So I had a question from someone that said, question for my ladies. My boyfriend wants to get cosmetic surgery, not medically necessary, and this is for appearance only. She said he struggled with his weight since he was a young kid, and despite a very healthy diet, macro tracking, and exercise regimen, he still struggles to lose weight. He wants to get liposuction since he's feeling like nothing he's tried has worked. He is perfectly healthy. I've looked into all his blood work and he is normal in every single category. To me, this seems like a very risky surgery for something not medically necessary, and I love him so much and I don't want him doing anything so risky. However, this is really affecting his mental health. I want so badly for him to be happy. You both have had cosmetic surgery. I want to know how I can be a supportive partner even though I disagree with his choices.
Okay. Instantly my mind went to one spot, so if you don't mind if I just gonna lay it out. This is,
how about it?
First of all, very, very complicated, and you are saying this so nicely, and you can understand, like, I appreciate her, like, she's looking at it from his side, and like he has tried everything. But two things I didn't mention her say he tried, because he's clearly worked out, done everything. I'm not saying he's done any of those wrong, but two things he could spend his money on first. One, that you said it's affecting his mental health. This is going to sound, I hope this is taken well. Why doesn't he reach out to a therapist first? And I think that would be a really good, and I personally see a therapist, my best friends see a therapist. It just, if it does affect your mental health, surgery won't fix your mental health. But a therapist can. And so I think a therapist can either help him walk through the concept of surgery, because it is very mentally taxing regardless. So they can either help him through that transition time, planning it, or help him figure out some things. And then also consider having, not that a personal trainer is a therapist, but if you spend that money, it's going to be a lot cheaper to hire a personal trainer, a registered dietitian, or just a regular therapist, not physiotherapist. And those professionals can really just make sure everything is covered. And those people, I think, can really give a unbiased opinion on liposuction and those kind of surgeries. Because like you said, it is very hard on your body. So regardless, even if he decides to go through with it, he's got a team around him who can help him after the surgery get back into it, because there'll be recovery time, the mental thing. And it's kind of like, I think that would be a smarter way to spend the money before you fork over. I don't know your guys' financial situation, not issues, but it's just a lot of money, and you just have to be prepared for that kind of money. And that would be my recommendation. And then, because I, as a non-medical advisor, can't really give it, but maybe, and that's a really tough thing also to say, is just like when you're talking to him, be like, go get therapy, because that sounds so bad also. But maybe just consider even yourself. You're like, hey, I've recently downloaded BetterHelp, and it's really been helping. And like, I really feel better about my own, body confidence and that kind of thing, and self-esteem. And that could be a nice way to just like nudge him, because you can never force anyone to do something. But maybe if they see you, working on your mental health in that kind of way, it might inspire your boyfriend. So that's just something that where my mind first went. That was for my first time reading the question, but I know you've read the question before, so you might have had some better, more well thought out answers. What do you think?
I see your perspective, but I mean, put yourself in those shoes, but for your situation. You wanted a boob job. Yeah. Do you think your partner, like, you would have taken that well if your partner said, actually, I think you should see a therapist to fix your self-confidence? I think you'd be a little offended. I know I would be. And be like, well, it's also different because we can't grow boobs as much as I would love to. We could never get the dream boobs we wanted genetically. But like, we don't know his situation. I definitely think he should, like you said, seek professional help, whether it's even like finding a doctor that could like trial and error and see clearly there's something deeper to why he can't lose the weight. But I just also feel for him, because like, I think if, Michael had said that to me, like, well, I think you should first work on your self-confidence. I think it was something I'd always really wanted. So I guess it's hard, because I did go through like it, my mom is a nurse. So she always said like, what is it called? Like unnecessary surgery. There's another word for it. Do you know?
I know the word you're talking about. Why is it?
Elective surgery?
Oh yes, elective surgery. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
She was like super against me getting a boob job. She was like, would call me being like, have you read all the risks? Like, she was just like, I do not want you to get this. Like, it's so unnecessary. And it scared me actually for a couple months. I was going to, and I did not for a couple of months because I was so terrified. And then I went and like actually got insight on people that had it. I reached out to doctors. I reached out to nurses. I reached out to so many different people, naturopaths, like just like to get their perspective on it. And like all of them said at the end of the day, it's what you want. It's not what your partner wants. It's not what your mom wants. You're going to do what you want to do. So I feel for her and I feel for him, because of course she, just like my mom was just concerned for me, and she's not wrong. It is a risky surgery, but I do think that like, if this is something he wants to do, he's probably going to do it one way or the other. I agree, go the hard route, but I don't know. It's tough. I actually had a family member of mine recently get liposuction, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever known anyone I've never met anyone in their process. That was the best thing she ever did for herself. She said she loved it. It was like it wasn't even that drastic. It was just something she had an insecurity on that none of us even noticed. And like, she was very quiet about it, got it done. And I was like, oh, I would have never even noticed, but I get it. At the end of the day, I was like, I understand. It's your body.
Yep. So actually, this is funny. I was talking to a friend this week, and I won't go into details because it's their own personal life, but they were having some partner issues, and we all were kind of talking about the hardest thing about having a partner is realizing you can never change them. You can never force them to do anything. All you can do is like hold their hand as they try to become a better person. And maybe like, like you can lean, you can go through the process to like for them, or you can like show them a couple other things. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's his body, it's your body, you get that choice. And so I don't even know how I'd approach it, especially you have to know your partner well enough. I would just consider, just make sure, and like you said, you could be very well, like he could have talked to a therapist, a personal trainer, a registered dietitian. He could have done all that, and he is on his wit's end, and this could be the best thing for him. But I will just say, sometimes people don't realize that there's still other options. Like, you know what I mean? Totally. Like I will just use myself as an example. I wish I'd done more research before getting my boobs, because even though I did so much research, I should have reached out to a lot more people that had it done, a lot more of their experiences. And my mom actually gave this advice this weekend of like kitchen renovating. She's like, before you renovate a kitchen, talk to everyone and ask them, if you could do it again, what would you do differently? And everyone always has one or two little things. Like for me, I realized if I had to do my boobs again, I wouldn't get implants. I would just get a lift so my nipples were in a different place. I just didn't really like my nipples. And you know what I mean? Like, it sounds so funny, but like it could just literally be like, you don't realize that till you've done it. So maybe just like tell him, be like, oh, reach out to as many people, find people who did it, DM people, and just get a lot of experiences. We never got lipo, like you said, so I can't give that. But I think it will one of two things. Either he will know then it's the best thing possible for him, and then it will help his mental health, or he'll realize that lipo was kind of a Band-Aid cure for something else. And just help him find those resources and hold his hand along the way. And it's scary, but you just got to be there from your partner sometimes.
Yeah. Also, plastic surgery or like cosmetic surgery doesn't actually solve the underlying problem you have with yourself.
Yes.
It never does. I thought it would. And I've like talked about that on the podcast. Like I thought it would fix every insecurity of mine. And then it's like, no, I just fixate on something else now,? So it's like, you're not wrong with therapy. It's like, we do have to get down to the root of it if we want to, fully get through to ourselves. And he should also know that, because it's going to come out one way or the other. If it's not, the insecurity of his weight, it's going to be something else. I just believe in that, because it didn't quiet my mind like I thought it would. Of course, I love my boobs. I'm so happy I got them. But we all struggle with our own demons no matter what. And you just have to work out the root. Otherwise, putting a Band-Aid, like you said, is not going to fix it.
I will just forever promote therapy till it's normalized. Because like you said, right there, it sounds like an insult of being like, you should go get therapy. That does sound like it's like saying like, oh, there's something wrong with me. But in my opinion, like you would go see a trainer for your fitness, you need a trainer for your mind. And that's all therapy is. It's not saying you're broken. Like even just optimize. You can do it. You can be completely mentally healthy and you just want to optimize your performance. So I'm not saying your partner I think we all need therapy. We just went through a pandemic. We all need a little therapy. So we just sometimes and like you said, that's always the root of really figuring it out. And sometimes you'll figure out the root and realize you still want the cosmetic surgery, but then you feel positive about it.
Yeah. Also a therapist, if they're a good therapist, they will be impartial. Yes, so they won't, regardless of what they believe in for themselves. I feel like so often their therapists will project what they believe subliminally, like you won't even realize it. So that's tough too if you don't know how to, if you have to search for a therapist. But that's where I'm like, maybe seek that, but also go to a doctor's appointment with him. If he's serious, go to the, plastic surgeon or whoever's doing this and ask him a million questions. At least that's what I did, because I was so scared to get it done. And they eased my thoughts. I was so extreme. I went to a dermatologist because I heard that it could like increase my chances of melanoma. And I was like, is this true? And he was like, no, I don't know where you read that. And I was like, I read it or something, but I just was like, just got to get my moles checked and like also ask this. But it made me feel better. I literally got, oh my gosh, I had this happen. I get so fixated on like things if something's wrong with me that I have like this patch I thought was psoriasis for the longest time. And I literally like, it started to spread, and I legit like booked a telemedicine dermatologist like the same day. I was like, I think it's spreading, Michael. And he was like, no, I think it's fine. Like I have splotches too. And I'm like, no, this is different. And like, it's totally fine. I like taken this antibiotic for it. It's like, because of the humidity, but I'm so extreme that I will like the day it happens be like, book appointment. What is this?
Yep. Honestly, though, I respect it. And maybe we all need to be a bit better, because I don't know about you, but whenever I've gotten any cosmetic things, you go in and sometimes you feel pressured. Even if they're not pressuring you, you feel like I go in, I have to book or not. Just like book 20, book so many. Do you know what I mean? Talk to different doctors, just talk to everyone through the roof. And then you don't feel pressured to make the decision. You feel very educated. So I'd rather people be like you and research every little thing and have 100 opinions versus I've been there. You just get one person's opinion and it's very like, oh, I do this or I don't, versus there's a lot of other options.
I agree. But it's a good question. Thank you for asking.
We hope
like
we
those
helped.
segments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good luck.
It either was just not helpful or you had an eye-opening realization.
Exactly. But we'd love a follow-up. So let us know what happens. We'd love to.
Yeah, if you decided to.
Exactly. And we support the decision as long as you and him are happier and healthier because of it. That's really, it's cheesy, but isn't that really just the goal? Healthier, happier lives. Mm-hmm. Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. Easy, breezy, beautiful.
Cover girl.
Cover girl. Well, with that being said, I mean, we had a lot more other talking notes, but we're out of time today.
Yeah. So we will save them to next week. So if you guys want your question by us unprofessionals, just girls who have lived a bit of life, just like asking your friend for some help, hit us up for our next confession session. You can DM us on Instagram at Hitting the Bars, or leave us a review or a comment on YouTube. We love to see those as well. So thank you for tuning in like always. Oh, hit us.
I would like to know if there's any other girls that thought because like the buccal fat thing is a huge thing right now. Like I'm always seeing like some people paying to get this removal.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was spelled Buccal. I thought it was spelled like a buckle. Like
no, it's
buckle the jeans.
Buccal. It's buccal.
Buccal?
Buccal fat
wow.
removal. Yep.
Wow. I've been calling it buckle. I mean, it doesn't come up every day in my vocabulary. I don't think it's ever come up in my vocabulary. But I always thought it was buckle like the jeans.
Yeah. Honestly, all the YouTubers I watch talk about it say buccal. But a lot of them are Australian accents. So who knows? Who knows?
Oh.
Could be buckle, buccal, either way.
Yeah.
There's your fun fact of the day.
That being said, fun fact of the day. We are signing off.
Bye-bye.